cross
not
range.
all of the 15 or 16 types of clone make it into both range.
No. And it's, to me, this is the classic Sonoma. You get the jammy, concentrated fruit. There's a thing with Sonoma Pinot, especially when you get towards the coast, where there's a cherry cola. Kind of, you can smell it and that's there. It's on the palate as well. It's just a very,
The smell is very charming with both range. We have the 15, but I only drank one, so I don't remember I remember it tastes quite nice. I don't remember the actual aroma, but now smelling this is just very charming. It's so lovely.
Yeah, and that's now we've got that out there now. We're making more of this so that it can be out in the world in distribution, which is nice.
So is this very different from the 15?
So for me, this is a little bit more concentrated and a little bit bigger than the 15. And I get on this one a little bit of rowdy that I didn't get in the 15, which I like. It gives a depth of character to it. The 15, I think I put a couple away in my cellar because that wine was so tight when it was young, and I think it needs some years. The 16, while it could use some time, I think it's drinking very fine right now.
Yes.
I was very surprised. We just released this a couple weeks ago. We had that party for it, and I was really surprised at how well it tasted young. It's a fun little wine there. So
Walt before 2010, the name was not Walt. Walt was set up for Catherine's father.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Walt, her father and mother, they owned a vineyard up in Mendocino County, and they grew Pinot Noir and Chardonnay.
Oh, where is Mendocino County?
Where B and C.
Okay.
They're right in that area.
Okay.
And they, so Catherine, when she was a little girl, would go to the vineyard in the summer and spend time. And when years later, Catherine actually took over the vineyard and maintained it. And now her sister runs the vineyard up there. Prior to 2010, this tasting room where we were at, it was a winery called Ressler Cellars.
Okay.
And Roger Ressler and his brother made Pinot Noir and Chardonnay here, and they had done that for years. Very nice wine. And it was very successful for them until in 2006, when the economy started really falling off. A lot of the really small producers had a hard time because people weren't coming up and spending money on wine. And the Halls invested in the Ressler label to make sure they could keep going. And from 06 until the beginning of 2010, they had a partnership. Then in the beginning of 2010, the brothers said, Catherine, do you want the label? And the Halls bought them out, changed the name to Walt, and then we started producing wine. Now, prior to the Ressler label, they made the wines at their facility. We had no control, even though we were investors. So when we took over in 2010, it was kind of season was starting, and it was like we have to go. We weren't ready. In fact, if you find any of the old 2010 Walt Pinots and you pull the cork out, the cork says Ressler.
Oh, okay.
They use those old corks because the phone number
make do with whatever you have available.
And the phone number is the same. It's the same phone number we have here now, and it's just funny. Why doesn't it say Walt? That's why. So the 10 vintage, I love the ones I've tried. They're very nice, but it was kind of Megan wasn't expecting to be making Pinot Noir, and then all of a sudden we have all these grapes showing up. And she did a great job on that. So that's the history here. The Halls, when they bought them out and changed the name, they inherited these contracts at these very famous vineyards that we would not have been able to get. if you're a new producer,
yes.
like if tomorrow I wanted to start a Pinot Noir label,
yes.
make one, and I went to Gap's Crown and said, I would like to buy your grapes, please. They would say, who are you?
Yes.
Because their name is on the front of the label just like yours is. And if I make really bad wine out of their grapes, it hurts their brand.
Okay.
So what the Hall saw in the Wrestler label was these contracts, the
yes.
value of having these contracts, and then they could make
the connections that the Wrestler had
yeah.
with the place where they sourced the Pinot.
Exactly. And then they kind of got to start a brand new wine Pinot label, but immediately jumped to
the late status.
Right, because they got these contracts. So yes. it was a fortunate, I mean, that was a tough time because of the economy and everything, but it was, very fortunate, for the Hall.
So do you know the history of Hall?
The history of Hall?
Yeah, like a brief history, maybe you can, because I never had a chance to learn about the history of Hall.
Yeah, so the Hall, Craig and Catherine